Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Welcome to Morning Sip with Red Melissa. I am Red Melissa, and SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. So I hope everyone is doing well today. If you are in one of the states that received a blanket of snow over the weekend, I hope you are doing well, that you are pacing yourself, that you are safe. I went out Sunday late afternoon to shovel, and I have to say it was quite invigorating. It was quite invigorating. So is we got a lot of snow here in Westchester County, probably close to, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, maybe a foot. I'm not sure, but it was a lot of snow. So peace and blessings and safety to everyone that's bearing really, really extreme temperatures. Our real feel is in the minus digits, so below zero. And I have to go out in it today. So, whew, yeah, I'm gonna get an Uber. I'm not gonna drive in these conditions. But enough with the weather forecast. Good day, Linda, in the mountains of Colorado. Good day, Shay. Hey, girl. We are here. We are here. So, we're going to start a new series today. And I was, contemplating what I wanted to talk about today. And I was just going over some notes that I have. I just collect things as I go along, so that I have, like, a little list of things for SIP. And one of my notes that I found talks about something that I think would be beneficial to each of us in some degree. So for some, it may not apply, and for others, it it may really be something that you may want to take a look at for yourself. So the reason why this came up for me, and I found my little piece of paper where I had written some notes about it in June. In June, I wrote this stuff down last June 12th to be exact. And it was something that Bob Roth was talking about before we did our transcendental meditation. He does like a 5-minute talk about a host of things. And this topic really struck a chord with me. And it struck another chord with me recently because there is a practice that I would encourage everyone to examine for themselves. So, one of the practices is to forward news items to people in your circle. And recently, for me, I would say over the last month or so, people in my circle have been forwarding me very disturbing social media posts. And when I receive them, if I could tell what it is, I won't open it. If I can't tell what it is, because sometimes they're tricky. You think it's about one thing and then you click on and it's about something totally different. So if that happens and I see that it's something that I really don't want to take in, then I click off and I just send my friend a nice little text informing them that I would appreciate not receiving these types of posts. Like, I don't need bad news forwarded to me. I don't need bad news forwarded to me. So I could go on a little rant about that, but I won't. I won't. I get to choose how I would like to receive news, especially negative, very disturbing news that often is accompanied by video or some visual effect. I don't need that. And if you are one of those people who does this, that this is a practice of yours, I would just ask just to take a moment and check in with yourself about I'm choosing my words very carefully today because believe me, this is coming from love. It's no judgment, no shade, none of that. But and it's a activity that I would encourage you to cease doing. Cease doing that unless that's how you roll with your friends and it's a two-way street and that's how you'll do things. More power to you. But in general, let's be very conscious and aware of the energy that we are forwarding, right? Because everything is energy. So a text has energy. When we forward something from social media, that carries its energy. So let us discern what energy we are carrying forward, what energy we are spreading to each other. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to pause here and just check in with y'all. So Shay is like, hard no. Good day, Pamela. It's good to see you, love. Let me have boundaries. Yes. Yes, Shay. Soul trauma bonding. No, thank you. I don't want the trauma bonding. I like forwarding positive messages and tender and kind stories. Yes, Linda, me too. So the fun ones, I love the fun and the light and the informative ones that are informing me of good things because it's the negative news is just in the ethers. You will find out. You will find out what is going on in the world. Believe me, you will. And the bottom line is the information that we receive through regular news is not all of what is happening in the entire world. There is so much happening in the entire world that we have no idea about, good, positive, and negative. So we are getting spoon fed what corporations, because that's what the news is, what corporations want us to know. So all of this led me to find this note that I wrote June 12th, 2025. And it is about doom strolling. Doom strolling. Are you a doom stroller? Are you a doom stroller? I do my best. And sometimes I have to catch myself because there are certain news items that spike my curiosity, like natural disasters. For some reason, I can go down the rabbit hole when a natural disaster happens. I remember when the tsunami happened a number of years ago in Sri Lanka and I can't think of all the places. But I remember going down the rabbit hole. I became so fascinated by this phenomenon called a tsunami or even when there's like a hurricane or tornado, earthquakes, these natural occurrences that happen, I'm fascinated by those things. And I don't spread it because it's my fascination. It's my fascination. And so I know all of us have our things that we get curious about and might want to learn more about. And I'm just offering that we have more discernment about what we are spreading. So, doom strolling. I looked up the definition of doom strolling and I want to share it with you. Doom strolling is the compulsive, excessive consumption of negative news or social media content, often leading to increased anxiety, depression, and physical symptoms like headaches or insomnia, triggered by a need for information during uncertainty or the addictive nature of algorithms. It causes a mean world syndrome. They even have a syndrome. It's a syndrome, a mean world syndrome, where the world feels more dangerous. Breaking the habit involves setting time limits, curating feeds, and replacing screen time with physical activities. So this is really important because for me, it's about protecting my peace of mind. Protecting my peace of mind. And I get to curate what I desire to have as a piece of my mind. So, are you a doom stroller? Just check in with yourself. Are you a doom stroller? How much time are you giving to strolling? And at some point, something negative is going to pop up on your feed. Or maybe you have someone who you follow and they are posting about these things and you make a comment or you click, upset or the emoji that's hugging. And then all of a sudden you start receiving more of those types of posts, right? Because then the algorithm picks up. And okay. So I want to share a couple of things that Bob Roth shared June 12th of 2025 that's quite applicable to where we are today. So some of the strategies to break the habit of doom strolling. We said set time limits. Now, I have to disagree with the setting the time limits. Because why would you want to set a time to doom stroll? Let me set a time to doom stroll for 5 minutes. No, set no time. There's no good time to doom stroll. So I have to challenge that one. In general, I would say set time limits for how much time you spend on social media. I would say that, or how much time we spend on this thing on our telephones. So that's one. Disable news alerts. That is so important. On my laptop, when it first opens, the page that it lands on is a news page. Now, I didn't set it up that way. It just came that way. And so I decided I do not want the news to be the first thing that I see. Because one, it's usually some news item that I might be interested in. So it's pretty neutral. I might be interested in it. And then I click on it. And then the next news item comes up. And then the next one. And then the next one. And then before I know it, I've spent an hour going through these news stories, right? That may be positive. But that was not my intention of getting on my laptop, right? But I've spent an hour doing that. So disable news landing pages on your laptop, news alerts. You don't need an alert. You don't need an alert when something bad happens in the world. You don't need an alert. Okay. I don't need an alert when bad things happen in the world. Give yourself a no phone zone. This really helped me a lot. When we were doing the 5 o'clock, remember that? The 5 o'clock club, the 5 a.m. club. And one of the suggestions in that book, the 5 a.m. club, I think it's called 5 o'clock club, was to set a no phone zone so that you could get work done, right? So you take your phone, you put it in another room, you put it on do not disturb, and for like 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes, so that you can focus on the task at hand. And that really helped me a lot, to just have the phone in a different room on do not disturb. Unsubscribe. The other day, I spent about a half an hour unsubscribing to all sorts of things that I don't recall ever subscribing to. So there are only a couple of people that I tune into to get information. And that's it. That is it. So everyone else that somehow I started getting emails from, I have unsubscribed. So I'm a fan of Joy Reid. I'm a fan of Heather Cox. I can't think of her full name, but Heather Cox, Robertson, and a couple of other people. And that's it, because the way in which they deliver information is informative. It's not to elicit fear, it's to inform. And a lot of news outlets, and also people who have these types of posts, you could feel the threat of fear in what they're sharing. At least I can. So being informed is important. Being triggered and fearful is not okay. And I think some people elicit that, like that's their intention, to elicit fear. Nobody got time for that. Get support. It's wonderful to have an accountability partner for anything, but especially for doomstrolling. If you have someone in your circle and this is also concerning for them, you can support each other, right? You can support each other. So the last thing that Bob Roth shared was meditate. Of course, he's going to say that, right? Transcendental meditation specifically. And for me, that type of meditation has transformed my life and how I relate to things that happen in the world. So having a practice, whatever it may be, whatever form of meditation it may be, to help just center you, rebalance you, give you time to just decompress, right? Yes, Shay, regulate your nervous system. Know that you're not in a state of flight and fight or freeze, right? That you are safe right here and right now. You are safe. So tomorrow, I want to share a little bit about what the habit of doomstrolling does to your brain. It is having an impact on our brains. So I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. Okay? All right. All right. So let me check in with y'all one more time. I constantly clean up my feed. Anyone who's being excessively negative or talking endlessly about the horrors, I'm out. Unfollow. I'm with you, Shay. I'm with you. Hey, Bonnie, love, it's good to see you. And Shay also shared, this is all about nervous system regulation, messages of safety and information hygiene. Very important information. Thank you. You're very welcome, Shay. So, like I said, this is all shared in love because there's a lot that we are being bombarded with. And we get to choose what we let in, right? We get to choose if we want to open the door or not. So be gentle and kind with yourself. Give yourself some pause. Be intentional when you pick up your phone. Be intentional when you put your phone down. Be intentional about what you're sharing with people, what you're forwarding. Be intentional about spreading love and joy and peace and harmony. That's the energy that the world needs more of. Yes? All right, y'all. I'm going to get off my soapbox today. That's right, Bonnie. I'm not into gloom and doom. That's right, Bonnie. I'm not into it at all. I'm not into it at all. And I feel you, Bonnie, about feeling addicted to your phone to the point that it's a problem. It was designed to be addictive. So support yourself. Set those time limits. Put the phone in another room. Don't take the phone in the bathroom. Oh my God. Do y'all know how much time gets saved when we don't take our phones with us in the bathroom? All right. Let's get into some joy news real quick. And there's just one thing that I'm going to share today in joy news, and that is our next meditation with the moon is this week. It is on January 29th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right where you're watching me now. The meditation with the moon is a wonderful practice that we get to do with each other, a full spiritual practice of inspirational reading, inspirational journaling, meditation, and prayer. It is one of the things that I love probably the most to do on a monthly basis is our full moon meditation. So please join me 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on January 29th, which I believe is Thursday. So that means there's no 10:30 a.m. SIP. SIP will be at 8:30 p.m. for meditation with the full moon. Okay? All right, y'all. Have a wonderful today. Just be more present to how you are spending your time, what you are doing. Be more present to what you are letting in, right? What you are letting into your consciousness, and have discernment around that. And if you're one of those people who spreads that negative news, please stop. Please stop. Please. All right. So peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy, connected to our yes.